The wind howled across the open plains, carrying with it the dust of a land that had never truly been tamed. The sun built its last light over the horizon, throwing long shadows across the battered homestead. Inside the cabin, a woman knelt on the wooden floor, her breath yawning, her body trembling. Her name was Clara May, and tonight, like so many nights before, she had been struck for something she could never control, for giving birth to daughters. Her husband had wanted a son. A boy to carry his name, to ride the ranch, to hold the land after he was gone. But after 3 girls, his disappointment had turned to rage, and rage turned to cruelty. Clara had learned to hide the breezes beneath her dress, to hush the sobs of her children at night, to whisper lullabies loud enough to drown out the sound of his boots stamping across the floor. But tonight was different. Tonight, the cabin was quiet. The boots were gone. The man who had tormented them for years had taken a bottle and a gun into town, looking for a fight he wouldn't walk away from. And when word came back the next morning that he had been shot dead in a saloon brawl, Clara May felt something she hadn't felt in years: freedom, wrapped in fear. Life without him would be hard, maybe impossible. The ranch was failing, the winter coming, and there was no man to mend fences, to trade cattle, to keep food on the table. The neighbors wouldn't help. Folks around her turned their noses up at a woman who couldn't drive her man a son. The preacher would offer pity, not provisions. Clara May had only her 3 girls: Maggie, the oldest at 12 with eyes sharp as a hawk, little June, who spoke more with flowers than words, and Baby Rose, barely 4, who still thought her daddy might come home. Days passed, and Clara did what she called. She chopped wood until her hands blistered, hauled water until her back screamed, and sold the last of the hens for flour. But the nights were the hardest. The house felt too empty without his shouting, too quiet without the sound of boots. And to she had hated him, she hated more the way loneliness crept into her bones, whispering that she wasn't enough, that she couldn't do this alone. Then, one afternoon, a rider appeared on the ridge. He was tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in trail-worn leather, a white-brimmed hat casting shadow over eyes as blue as the Montana sky. He rode slow, respectful, like a man who knew the land and its silences. When he dismounted at the fence, Clara stepped out onto the porch with Maggie behind her, a rifle resting across her lap. "Mom," he said, his voice steady, low. "Name's Callahan. Folks call him Cal. I heard tell you could use a hand round here." Clara hesitated. She didn't know him, didn't trust him. The world hadn't been kind enough to teach her trust. But something in his manner, the way he kept his distance, the way he took off his hat when he spoke, told her he wasn't here to hurt them. "I can't pay you," she said plainly. Cal nodded. "Don't need pay. I need work, need purpose. And I reckon your place could use some fixing before the snow comes." Maggie studied him with the suspicion of a girl would seem too much too young, but June peeked from behind her sister's skirt, her eyes wide with hope. Rose, still too little to know fear, waved at him with sticky fingers. That night, after the girls were asleep, Clara sat at the kitchen table with her head in her hands. Letting a stranger stay could be dangerous. But turning him away could mean losing the ranch. And deep down, to she hated to admit it, she didn't want to face another winter alone. By morning, Cal had already repaired the barn door and stacked the firewood. He worked with quiet determination, speaking little but always. Kind when he did. He shaved Maggie how to fix a broken latch, taught June how to tie a proper knot, and lifted Rose onto his shoulders to make her laugh. For the first time in months, the cabin echoed not with shouting, but with the sound of children's laughter. One evening, as the sun dipped low and the prairie glowed gold, Cal sat on the porch sharpening his knife. Clara joined him, a mug of coffee in her hands. "You don't have to do all this," she said softly. He looked at her, his face lined from years under the sun, but his eyes warm. "I know, But if seen to a many good women loss everything cause no one stepped in to help. World is hard enough without folk turning away. Sh swallowed the lamp in her throat. My husband, he oceaned kin to us. He wanted sons, and we couldn't drive him that her voice broke. Cal didn't push her to finish. He just nodded, the knife resting still in his hands. Then let them raise them proud, he said at last. Not as sons, but as strong as any man who ever rode this land. Those words stayed with her. Over the weeks that followed, Cal became more than a ranch hand. He became a teacher, a protector, a steady presence that turned fear into courage. He showed Maggie how to shoot straight, not out of anger but out of need. He helped June plant a late autumn garden, telling her which herbs could heal a fever. And he carried Rose to bed when she fell asleep by the fire, humming an old trail song under his breath. Clara found herself watching him, not just with gratitude, but with something she thought had long since died inside her, hope. He wasn't a man who needed saving, and he didn't see her as a woman to be pitied. He saw her as capable, worthy, a partner. One stormy night, when the wind rattled the shutters and the fire threatened to go out, Clara stood by the window and felt a presence behind her. Cal was there, silent, waiting. You could leave anytime, she said, her voice barely a whisper. I could, he agreed. But I won't. She turned to him then, really looking at him, and something shifted between them. It wasn't just the ranch he was fixing. It was them, her, the girls, the broken pieces of a life that had been beaten down but not destroyed. When spring finally came, the ranch was no longer a place of fear. The fences were mended, the fields ready for planting, and the girls ran barefoot through the tall grasses, their litter carrying on the wind. Clara stood on the porch with Cal at her side, her hand brushing against his, and for the first time in years, she didn't flinch. Love didn't come to her like thunder this time. It came like sunrise, slow, steady, filling every dark corner with light. And as Cal sold his horse one morning to ride into town for supplies, Maggie called after him. You coming back? She asked, her voice half challenge, half hope. Cal smiled, tipping his hat. Reckon I got 3 girls to raise proud. Can't do that from the trail. Clara watched him ride away, her heart no longer heavy but full. She knew there would still be hard days, but she also knew she wasn't alone. Not anymore. And in the heart of the Wild West, where bullets missed but hearts didn't, a battered homestead had become a place of love, of strength, and of second chances.